All right, welcome back to another video, everybody. It's currently 4:04, and real quickly, I want to talk about the inherent value of life. When does that begin? When does that end? And most importantly, how do we, people of higher maturation, represent that life in our community? But also, I want to couple that with its relationship to morality. Now, after this video, I want to challenge you all to go and search up on YouTube, whatever you want, videos that are college sit-downs, open mic debates, or podcast specifically hosted by a Christian conservative versus a liberal or a leftist. Okay? Why do I say that? It's because typically when we talk about when does a human life begin, when does that value come in, or we talk about absolute truth such as when is murder wrong, or is murder wrong as a whole, whatever. Stuff like that, absolute truth. Typically what you will hear from the leftist, you will hear anything that directly affects somebody's body without consent is wrong. Well then, predictably, the Christian conservative will say, oh, hold on, so anything that affects a person's body without consent is wrong. And the liberal will cut them off, be like, well, I know where you're going. Abortion is different because da-da-da-da-da. They add these more categories. It has to be outside of the womb, independent, it has to be conscious, da-da-da-da. They add all these labels, right, to try to make their narrative or their definition fit. What I want to address today is that the problem with making categories to a definition, or making a definition longer than one sentence, it has to be a paragraph. The problem with that is this. When you start making categories for people, you're excluding other people with their inherent rights, their value, and their independent God-given abilities. What do I mean by that? If we take a look, Hitler, he made categories. Jews fell outside of that category. Catholics fell outside of that category. Other people that were not of his skin color and his ethnicity fell out of that category. Therefore, he killed them because they weren't valuable in his definition. Another person would be in China. If you are not a man, you're excluded. They don't want you around. They kill you. In Sweden, we see, we created a Down syndrome solution. We beat Down syndrome. No, actually, they're killing all of the babies that have Down syndrome, so that is eliminated from their populace. What I'm talking about here is that when we say or ask from a Christian conservative point of view, when does the value of life start? How is it measured? Where is it given? Because we would say it's given by God as soon as you are conceived. But if you're an atheist or a leftist or a liberal, whatever, and you don't believe in God and you don't want God to be your basis of definition, and you want to make your own definition for how people are valued, you need to be very careful with the rhetoric that you spray, the definitions that you use, because if you get too hyper detailed and make categories that only fit your group of people, you have to remember you're leaving out other groups of people. And historically, that type of rhetoric, by excluding large groups of people, ends in violence, ends in homicides, genocides, ends in massive amounts of division, ends in war. So be careful with your definition and realize, wake up to the fact that, hey, if you do not have absolute truth, if you do not believe in God, human value gets messy. God is the answer, folks.